Yo, hello everybody. My name is Eric Hackenberger, and I'm here to answer the question, what is Git? A cursory Google search will reveal that Git is an unpleasant or contemptible person. This doesn't make a lot of sense until you put it into the context of its creator, Linus Torvalds, best known for his work on the Linux kernel. When asked, why did you name it Git, he responded, I'm an egotistical bastard, and I name all my projects after myself. First Linux, now Git. Git's homepage at gitsourcecontrolmanagement.com provides a more thorough explanation. Git is a free and open source distributed version control system designed to handle everything from small to very large projects with speed and efficiency. This begs the question, however, what is a version control system? So saith Wikipedia, a version control system is a repository of files, often the files for the source code of computer programs with monitored access. Why should I care? Because version control systems are powerful tools for any project. They allow you to collaborate effectively, without blocking others or messing up others' changes to files. They allow you to work with yourself across time, with your team members, across teams, and even with strangers, without the danger. And I'll cover more of that in my videos on GitHub. At least for Git, version control systems allow you to have a full backup of your project every time a clone is made. In addition, and perhaps most obviously, version control systems allow you to have a versioning system. This is useful so you can roll back to previous working versions if your new feature addition doesn't go as planned, maintain multiple versions of a project, such as bleeding edge, nightly, and stable releases, and we'll see later how having a versioning system helps enable bug tracking and hotfixes. Perhaps an underappreciated use of version control system is reflection. When something goes wrong, it helps you understand how it happened, by showing you the changes to the files over time and who wrote the offending or lines of code. You might be asking yourself, but I'm not a developer, so I don't care. To which I would say, who cares? Git can be used for a variety of uses. Perhaps some of the most interesting I've come across is a student who told me he wrote his entire thesis using nothing but Git and tech. Authors do the same thing, where they can try out new ideas and branches, and after getting feedback, merge them in and reconcile the differences later. Other uses can be used for collaborative research projects and editing research papers together. Git is useful for both individuals and teams. So why Git over other version control systems? I'll be the first to admit I'm extremely biased. There's a reason why I'm evangelizing for Git right here, right now for you, and that is because I love it, and I've never felt the need to switch. That said, I have used one version control system before I used Git, and it was Perforce. It was back when their logo was also a lot uglier. I don't have anything good to say about Perforce. It was slow, frustrating, and I don't recommend it. But seeing how the logo changed, they might have changed too, and you might find it useful. So you should know that you should look at your alternatives as well, and I'm not the best source on them. Other alternatives besides Git and Perforce are Mercurial and Subversion, often abbreviated SVN. So if we go back to the definition of what is Git, we can see some of the benefits of using it over other version control systems. For the first, Git is free. And as our friend Richard Stallman would tell us, think libre, not gratis. But, as we would tell Richard Stallman, actually, there's more. Git is both free as in freedom and free as in free beer. This is great because, and what does this mean to be free as in freedom for software? Some of you may be familiar with software licenses, and some of you may have a lot of opinions, but in general it means you are free to distribute the program and modify it as you wish. In this case, Git is licensed under the GNU General Public License version 2. Speaking of which, Git is also open source, which I believe is a requirement of the new public license. By going to gitsourcecontrolmanagement.com, you can actually download the source code in the lower right hand of the website and compile from source if you want to. You can also view the Git source code hosted on Git. Unlike other version control systems, Git is distributed, meaning that there is no central authoritative server or version of the code. This allows people to work on it. This allows people to work on their own versions of the code without interfering with anybody else. And most importantly, almost everything is local, which means that everything is fast, every clone is a backup, and you can work offline. Which brings us to our next point about the speed and efficiency of Git. Git is fast. And this is mostly thanks to the fact that everything is local and no network is needed. A lot of the slowdowns that happen on other version control systems are due to network latency. But with Git, you can do all of the following without any network at all, and generally much, much more. Another great feature about Git is cheap branching. If you were to be using your file system as a naive version control system, here's an extremely contrived example that shows the benefit of Git. Here I have a 78 megabyte directory. If I change into it and I time how long it takes Git to make a new branch, it's less than 1/10 of a second. If I were to just make a complete copy of my project every time that I wanted to try out something new without worrying about destroying the old version that I had, it would take orders of magnitude longer. Over 13 and a half seconds versus less than 1/10 of a second. And lastly, Git is secure. Commits are secured with a SHA-1 history check. A lot of you might roll your eyes that SHA-1 is not that secure, but for most users, this is sufficient to know that nobody has messed with their code or messed with the commit history to insert anything harmful. If you want additional security, commits can be cryptographically signed with new privacy guard using the -S flag. In my next video, I'm going to be giving another brief overview of what is GitHub and what is this thing. Thanks for watching, and look for more videos that explain how Git works under the hood, how you can use Git in your process, and some examples and tutorials for doing specific tasks in both Git and GitHub.